The concept of Ragnarok, the cataclysmic event in Norse mythology, has fascinated people for centuries. It is the ultimate showdown between the gods and the forces of chaos, a battle that will determine the fate of the cosmos. The stories of Ragnarok are filled with epic confrontations, tragic deaths, and the promise of renewal. In this narrative, we will explore the key players, their roles, and the inevitable clashes that will define the end of the world as the Norse gods know it. At the heart of Ragnarok is the idea of destiny. The gods, despite their immense power, are bound by fate. They know that Ragnarok is coming, and they know that many of them will not survive. Yet, they prepare for the battle with courage and determination, knowing that their actions will shape the future of the universe. The story begins with the signs that foretell the coming of Ragnarok. The world grows colder, and the sun and moon are swallowed by the wolves, Skoll and Hati. The stars disappear from the sky, and the earth is plunged into darkness. This is Fimbulwinter, a harsh and unending winter that lasts for 3 years without respite. During this time, chaos reigns. Brother turns against brother, and the bonds of kinship and loyalty are broken. The world is consumed by war and strife, and the fabric of society unravels. Amidst this chaos, the gods prepare for the final battle. Odin, the All-Father, knows that his fate is sealed. He has long sought wisdom to avert Ragnarok, but even his knowledge cannot change what is to come. He rides to Mimir's well, the source of all wisdom, to seek one last piece of advice. Mimir tells him that the only way to face Ragnarok is with bravery and honor. Odin returns to Asgard, the realm of the gods, and gathers his forces. He calls upon the Einherjar, the brave warriors who have died in battle and been brought to Valhalla by the Valkyries. These warriors have been training for this moment, and they stand ready to fight alongside the gods. Meanwhile, Loki, the trickster god, has been bound by the gods as punishment for his role in the death of Baldur, the beloved son of Odin and Frigg. Loki's imprisonment is harsh. He is tied to 3 rocks with the entrails of his son, and a serpent drips venom onto his face. His wife, Sigyn, tries to catch the venom in a bowl, but when she empties it, the venom falls onto Loki, causing him to writhe in pain. His struggles are said to cause earthquakes, but as Ragnarok approaches, Loki breaks free from his bonds. He joins forces with the giants, the ancient enemies of the gods, and together they march toward Asgard. The giants are not the only enemies the gods must face. Fenrir, the monstrous wolf and son of Loki, has grown to an enormous size. The gods had tried to bind him twice before, but both times he broke free. The third time, they used a magical ribbon made by the dwarves, Gleipnir, which was as thin as a silken thread but stronger than any chain. Fenrir was bound, but he bit off the hand of Tyr, the god of war, in the process. Now, as Ragnarok begins, Fenrir breaks free from his bonds. His jaws are so wide that they stretch from the earth to the sky, and his eyes burn with a fierce, destructive light. He is one of the most fearsome foes the gods will face. Another of Loki's children, Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, also plays a key role in Ragnarok. This massive serpent encircles the world, lying in the depths of the ocean. During Ragnarok, Jormungandr rises from the sea, causing tidal waves and flooding the land. His venom is deadly, and his very presence is a sign of the world's end. Thor, the god of thunder, has a long-standing rivalry with Jormungandr. The two have faced each other before, but their final battle will be their most epic and destructive. As the forces of chaos gather, the gods take their positions. Heimdall, the watchman of the gods, stands at the gates of Asgard. His hearing is so sharp that he can hear the grass grow, and his sight is so keen that he can see for hundreds of miles. He carries the Gjallarhorn, a horn that he will blow to signal the beginning of Ragnarok. When he sounds the horn, the gods and their enemies will clash in a battle that will shake the foundations of the universe. The battle begins with the sound of Heimdall's horn. The gods and the Einherjar march out to meet their foes. Odin rides at the front, wearing his golden helmet and carrying his spear, Gungnir. He is accompanied by his two wolves, Geri and Freki, and his two ravens, Hugin and Munin, who bring him news from all corners of the world. Odin knows that he is destined to face Fenrir, and he does not shrink from his fate. The two meet on the battlefield, and the fight is fierce. Fenrir's jaws snap at Odin, and the All-Father fights with all his strength. But in the end, Fenrir overcomes him and swallows Odin whole. This is a devastating blow to the gods, but it is not the end. Vidar, Odin's son, steps forward to avenge his father. Vidar is known as the Silent God, and he is one of the strongest of the Aesir. He wears a special shoe made from the scraps of leather that shoemakers have saved throughout the ages. With this shoe, he steps into Fenrir's mouth and tears the wolf's jaws apart, killing him. Vidar's victory is a moment of hope in the midst of the chaos. But the battle is far from over. Meanwhile, Thor faces Jormungandr in a battle that is equally epic. The two have a long history, and their final confrontation is one of the most anticipated events of Ragnarok. Thor wields his hammer, Mjolnir, which is one of the most powerful weapons in the universe. Jormungandr's venom is deadly, and his sheer size makes him a formidable opponent. The two clash with such force that the earth trembles. Thor manages to kill Jormungandr, but not before the serpent delivers a fatal bite. Thor takes 9 steps after the battle before he falls, dead from the serpent's venom. Loki and Heimdall also face each other in a deadly duel. The two have been enemies for a long time, and their fight is intense. Both are skilled warriors, and neither is willing to back down. In the end, they kill each other, their bodies falling to the ground as the battle rages on around them. Tyr, the god of war, faces Garm, the monstrous hound that guards the gates of hell. Garm is a fierce opponent, and Tyr, who has already lost a hand to Fenrir, fights bravely. The two kill each other in a brutal and bloody battle. As the battle continues, the world itself begins to fall apart. The earth shakes, and the skies are filled with fire and smoke. Surt, the fire giant, wields a flaming sword that burns brighter than the sun. He sets the world ablaze, and the flames consume everything in their path. The gods and their enemies fight on, even as the world around them is destroyed. In the end, the battle takes its toll on both sides. Most of the gods and their enemies are dead, and the world is left in ruins. But Ragnarok is not just a story of destruction. It is also a story of renewal. After the battle, the world begins to heal. A new earth rises from the sea, green and fertile. The surviving gods, including Vidar and Vali, the sons of Odin, and Magni and Modi, the sons of Thor, come together to rebuild the world. Baldur, who was killed by Loki's treachery, returns from the realm of the dead, bringing hope and light to the new world. Two humans, Leif and Lifthrasir, who have hidden themselves during the destruction, emerge to repopulate the earth. They are the seeds of a new humanity, and they will carry on the legacy of the old world. The cycle of life begins again, and the world is reborn. Ragnarok is a powerful and enduring myth because it speaks to the human experience. It is a story of struggle, loss, and renewal. It reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, we can find the strength to fight for what we believe in. And it teaches us that even in the darkest times, there is always the possibility of a new beginning. The ultimate showdown between the gods and monsters is not just a battle for the fate of the cosmos. It is a reflection of the eternal struggle between order and chaos, and the enduring hope for a better future.